All right, ladies. There are four ways that you have probably been taking your pussy power, your yoni power, your divine feminine energy power for granted, and we are going to deal with it today. All right. Now, the reason why this is important is because you, as a woman, you, as this sacred portal, middle point between God and this physical realm, you have a responsibility, you have a sacred duty to bring forth and create life. Not just the life of a child, but anything and everything that you may desire: passion, purpose, love, abundance. You have the responsibility as women to birth that into this reality, okay? And so, but you've been probably taking that for granted because I've been taking mine for granted and I had to nip it in the bud. So I'm here to share with you those four things. The first thing that that many of you women may be taking for granted as a woman, a sacred woman, a spiritual woman, is the healing power of your womb. And how you take it for granted is either one, you are focused on being super saver, okay, right? You got your little cap on and your cape on, and you got the big S on your chest, and you're using your yoni power, your womb power, your pussy power to heal broken men, right? You see a man and he looks like he's been through a lot, he needs some help, you want to be his helpmate, and you are deciding that you are going to take on his energy when you decide to be intimate with him physically, spiritually, emotionally. You use your healing power for him instead of using your healing power for you. That is you taking your healing power for granted, right? Because the more you are conscious and intentional about healing yourself, any and everybody that is connected to you will automatically heal, okay? But a lot of women have it in their mind that they can save, rescue, heal, transform, make a better man out of someone. And so you use your yoni power and you use your sex for that, ladies. And you're taking it for granted because this energy is for you. This healing energy of your womb is for healing your bloodline. It's for purifying the generations that come before you and the generations that will come after you. It is so that you can become the divine sacred being that you are meant to be. And by natural law, anything attached or connected to you will receive those gifts. The second thing that many women take for granted when it comes down to their pussy power is that they do not trust and believe in themselves. Oh, that is you taking your yoni power, your divine feminine energy for granted, sis. What I mean by that is that you, as a woman, having a womb that is connected to the infinite, that is connected to God. How do we know that it's connected to God? Well, you birth children, meaning these souls that are existing somewhere up in the sky, right? They come through and implant themselves in your womb. That means your yoni has access to the infinite. Because it has access to the infinite, that means that there is infinite wisdom, insight, spiritual guidance, and downloads, activations, and channels that come through that. So, anytime you're not trusting yourself, anytime you're not listening to your intuition, anytime you're not following your divine guidance as a woman, you are taking your yoni power, your pussy power, your divine feminine energy. You are taking it for granted, sis. You are connected to the all by way of your womb. You are the life giver, the life bringer. You are the gateway between heaven and earth, sis. There is nothing that you don't have access to through connecting to your sacred femininity. All right. Now, religion has told us otherwise, right? Religion has told us you have to go through somebody else. You have to go through man to get to God, and that is a belief system that we got to get out of as women, because there is absolutely nothing more powerful than a woman. A man cannot bring forth life. Now, men and women, when they come together, this is when the cosmic stuff happened. But at the end of the day, we house that baby, okay? We house that soul, okay? So let's not make this a whole debate between men and women, because that's not what I intend to do here. I'm just trying to tell you, ladies, you are the key to connecting to God. And so, not trusting yourself, not listening to your intuition, that is you taking yourself and that cosmic womb for granted. The third thing that women do that is taking themselves for granted is, and taking their yoni power and their womb power and their divine feminine energy for granted is you don't realize your ability to create. You don't realize that you have the power to shapeshift. What do I mean by this? It has literally been scientifically documented that when a man and a woman come together sexually, the woman will take on the man's energy. She'll take on his DNA. She'll take on his information, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical information. She takes it into her body and it changes her. It shifts her. Sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's spiritual, sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's all of these things, depending on how long or how often you are intimate with this specific man. But at the end of the day, this is shape shifting power, meaning you were one way before you entered into this relationship. And then when you got with this specific person, you became something else. Women are taking this for granted because they're not being very specific, cautious, and deliberate about whose energy they are taking in and how they are shape shifting it, doing the alchemy with it, and how they're using that energy for their growth. If you know a woman or have ever been a woman who has been in a relationship with someone, and from that relationship, I mean, your money start acting funny. I mean, you start feeling insecure. You start to question yourself. What that means is that you've shape shifted into a lower nature or a lower quality of yourself. And you're taking that shape shifting, alchemical, sacred power that your womb has for granted, right? Instead of choosing to be intimate with someone who is enlightened, someone who is loved, someone who is healing, somebody who is driven, somebody who is confident, somebody who is sure of themselves, right? Because when you take that energy in, you will shape shift into a higher version of yourself that is driven, that feels good about herself, that is holy, that is abundant, that feels powerful. So you got to stop taking that yoni power for granted, ladies. You have the ability to shapeshift based off of how you are receiving a man's energy. Never forget that. The last thing that women do that are taking their yoni, their pussy power, their divine feminine energy for granted, is you take for granted your ability to magnify and magnetize things to yourself. Okay. What I mean by that, ladies, is that you don't understand that you have this big aura, this big energy, right? This radiation that is coming out from your womb, that is attaching to it, or that is attracting to it any and everything that it feels that it desires, right? And you're taking it for granted because instead of magnetizing love, beauty, wonder, support, uh, 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 luxury, instead of magnetizing those things to you, you're magnetizing arguments and lack and the lack of friendship and unhealthy relationships and abandonment wounds and jealousy and all of that, right? And how does that happen? Well, your womb and what it magnetizes and what it attracts and what it magnifies, meaning what it makes bigger, is based off of how you think, feel, and act within yourself. So for many women, you don't understand that there's these deep-rooted beliefs that you stored in your womb and that you are radiating outside of you, and that is calling forth a like energy or a like vibration. So when you stop taking for granted that your womb is this magnetic magnifier, when you stop taking that for granted, you get very disciplined in how you're thinking. You get very disciplined in how you're feeling. You get very specific about how you show up on a day-to-day basis because you know and you understand that your womb is impacted by your mind, it's impacted by your heart, and you understand that your womb is drawing in naturally anything that it desires. This is not something that you can turn on and off, ladies. This is not something that you can say, okay, I want to magnetize this and I don't want to magnetize that. No, you are magnetic either way. What you are drawing in, though, is based off of how you are feeling, how you are thinking, and how you are treating yourself. So please, ladies, stop taking yourself for granted. Stop taking your divine feminine yoni pussy power for granted. It is a magical, magical entity, I should even say, that you are meant to hone in on, that you are meant to love, nourish, and really understand what it is. And if you're not understanding what it is and you're not tapping into that energy, you probably should be joining my class, Womb Alchemy. That is starting November 2nd. The link is in the bio. Let me know in the comments if you've done any of these things, if you've taken your yoni power for granted. I know I have, but I thank God for healing. Peace.